Are you trying to help keep or lose your brain cells? Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are trying to notice a few memory challenges, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. As a school teacher for over 30 years, I have often said a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And you know what? That is especially true in regards to our brain cells, especially our new brain cells. So, did you watch my last video? I did a video a few days ago about new brain cells. So if you didn't watch it, you can catch it on YouTube or my Facebook page, Keep Your Brain Sharp. And it was talking about the importance of generating as many new brain cells as you can. So go ahead and take a look at that. But today I wanted to continue talking about new brain cells, and I want to talk about how important it is to take care of your brain cells and specific things you can do to promote more new brain cells. Okay, so let's first get rid of this myth, because when I was little also, I used to tell people all the time, I shouldn't say when I was little, when I was younger, I used to tell people all the time, you know what? I got to keep these brain cells because they're the only ones I got. I can't afford to lose any. And you know, that is not true. It's true that I can't afford to lose a lot of them, but your body is always generating more brain cells. Research is telling us now that just like the other cells in our body, we're always producing new brain cells our entire life. Now, the amount of cells that you produce or the rate that you produce them in will vary, so we'll talk about that. But you're getting new brain cells all the time, okay? So you still want to take care of those older ones so they can last as long as they should be lasting, but you don't want to ignore the fact that you're getting new ones all the time, because guess what? You got to take care of those too. Okay, so these new ones are like reinforcements for us. They're like new brain cells that come on, but guess what? Just like new recruits, they just don't come onto the scene and can take over the job. No. You got to send them to like boot camp. They have to be trained and groomed and prepared for adequate service. And to do that, you have to do some things intentionally these days to make sure that happens, because if you don't, guess what? As many as 50% of those new brain cells that your body is producing will die. And guess what, guys? If you have the old ones dying and you got the new ones dying, Houston, we have a problem. Okay, you can't have both of them dying or you won't have anything left, okay? So you need to know what you need to do to make sure that the new ones don't die off. You don't want 50% of them dying off, but research also says that if you take proper care of them, as many as 90%, I think it's 99% of those new brain cells will stay and mature and adequately function in your brain. And that is what you want. Okay, so here's the Girl Scout, Boy Scout motto. Be prepared. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be prepared, because guess what? Those babies are just going to keep on coming. So you need to provide for them. And you know what? Nutrition is part of the strategy, but it's not the whole thing, okay? So you want to keep your brain in a position of upgrade. Some people think of upgrading your brain by letting those new cells come in and take over, creating new pathways and new routes while the old ones have died off, okay? They're going to rust out. They're going to wear out eventually, but by the time that happens, you want your new ones to be able to handle the load and take over, okay? So that's what we're looking for. You know, there was a study that was done that they said the earlier you get started on this, the better. In fact, they said that if you're in your middle age and you start intentionally doing those things that are going to provide the proper environment for your new brain cells to mature, that you could have 5 times more new brain cells being produced in your older years. Yeah, things that you did while you were middle age can benefit you in your later years in terms of the production of your new brain cells. And they also said that if you are in your 70s or in your 80s, you still will have great results if you remain active. Okay, so we're not just going to become couch potatoes. We're not just going to kick back and do nothing just because we're in our golden years, you know? Just because we're aging, no, that's not the time. We need to still keep active and doing some things. So that's what we're talking about, okay? So your rate of production of your new brain cells can actually increase by the lifestyle that you have, okay? So if you want to take better care of your brain, one thing you should start doing, needs not to say need, because Oliver always tells me I should not be telling people what they need to do. So I won't say need. One thing you may think about doing involves your nourishment, okay? Now, nourishment is very, very, very important, and we want to switch off for catering to our mouth. We're going to switch to catering to our brain. Okay, so I know when we get older, some of us like to start eating all these things we can eat. I don't worry about gaining all weight. I'm not worried about how my body looks anymore. You know, been there, done that. I'm just going to eat what I like. I'm going to enjoy my life. Some of us have that attitude when we get older, but what you should be thinking about is, are you eating for your brain? Because guess what? That matters. If you don't have your brain, hey, what do you really have? Okay. And guess what? Your mouth will get on board if you stick with it. Your little taste buds will change and they will start liking some of those things that you might have never thought you were ever going to like. If you start and get continuous on that, they'll come over to your brain side. So that is the good news, guys. Okay. So hang in there with that. Okay. So what else are you going to focus on? Okay. You're going to focus on your diet. You're going to focus on your activities. And you're going to focus on your emotions. And those are the things we're going to talk about tonight, okay? So when we're talking about diet, they call it, one of the new terms they have for it is neural healthy diet. We're talking about a brain healthy diet, okay? And some of you already know some of those things. Those are your healthy fats, including your omega-3s, you know, your antioxidants. Very good for your brain. You know that you want anti-inflammatory foods, okay? You don't want foods that promote inflammation, all right? You want high fiber, plant-based. You want low sugar, and you want some type of intermittent fasting. You want some kind of restrictive dieting done so that your body can repair, okay? So that we want the neural healthy type of diet. But guys, like I said, that's not all there is to it. That's important. That's one part. But that's not all, because if you only nourish and don't do what they call nurture, guess what? Your new brain cells are not going to be able to take over. They need activities that will promote their growth and development, that will allow them to create new routes and new pathways. That comes from discovery and engagement. Okay? Those comes from activities that you're doing. It comes from proper sleep. All right? Exercise. So certain activities you have to intentionally do to promote that growth and development. So they will be up to par when it comes to taking over from those that are dying off. Okay? So you need that activity. But the other thing, guys, is emotions. And a lot of us need to get a handle on our emotions, because did you know that our hippocampus is where we store most of our memory? Okay. That's the memory storage little area in our brain. Do you know that it can grow or shrink in response to continuous positive or negative emotions? Okay. So how we are reacting to things affects our brain. All right. So we need to take that into mind, because, you know, they said there's 8 universal emotions. Those are 8 emotions that cross the board, across all cultures. I don't care who you're talking to. People go through that. We're talking about love and joy and anger and fear, those kind of things. Everybody, I don't care where you're from, everybody goes through those things, right? Okay. So those are universal emotions. And did you know that the 3 positive ones can do some positive things for your brain? They can increase and improve your immunity They can increase your neurogenesis, that is the making and producing of new brain cells. And they can increase your cognitive function. We're talking about love, joy, and excitement. Those things are positives for your brain, and they enhance your brain, and you want to have those on as often as you can. On the other side, negative emotions can increase your chance of disease. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. If you have negative emotions, they can stir up and increase your risk for diseases. They also can decrease your cognitive function to the same, or you can, to the point where sometimes you can't even think straight because you just are so upset. You know what I'm talking about. Negative emotions can do that for you. And negative emotions, believe it or not, can shrink your brain. We're talking about anger, we're talking about fear, we're talking about guilt, we're talking about shame, we're going to be talking about all those negative things. You know, my favorite book, the Bible, talks about think on these things, and it's not talking about thinking on those things. It's talking about thinking about that, what is lovely, what is pure, what is honest, those things. It's worthy of praise, okay? Think on those things, okay? Because that is beneficial, soothing, and enhancing, and also increasing the size of your brain. They said meditation and prayer. Those are two things that have actually been shown through research to increase the size of your hippocampus. Okay, so you want to be careful and also watch out with continuous emotions. Okay, all right. So if you want to help improve your memory, you know, you have to be relieving your stress and your negative feelings and that things, and that's part of what you do when you take better control of your emotions. So if you want to learn more about the things that you can do for the activities and the emotions that you need to get a handle of regarding your brains and your new brain cells, I am going to be having my free Better Brain Masterclasses after the holidays. So right now on my website, there is a new schedule. So it's up there with the new schedule, and they're going to start in January after the holidays. Okay, so go take a look on that to see what might fit your schedule and sign up for one of them now. And you will get some free tips for a new year, some free tips on how to take better care of your brain. Because guess what, guys? Your brain's destiny is in your hands.